and welcome back to Opal&Mint. I am Ashley, and we have missed a few uploads lately because I have been sick with pneumonia. I have not had any energy, but I wanted to get up off the couch today and film something. What better to film when you're feeling sick than shiny, sparkly things? So today I'm going to be talking about metallic, glitter, duochrome, shifting, all the shiny things in watercolors. So I pulled out all of the metallic and shimmery watercolors that I own, and we're going to play with them today. I want to talk about the different brands, give you some opinions on them, and then also I have some really inexpensive ones from Amazon as well. I had a comment, somebody wanting me to check out a specific one from Amazon to see if it was any good. So we're going to actually test that one out today as well. And I'm going to give you my recommendations for inexpensive metallic watercolors all the way up to the most gorgeous, luxurious experience of watercolors that there is. So let's go ahead and dive in. I don't know exactly how or what I'm going to be painting, but I know that I want to play with some watercolors. So let's turn the camera around, show you everything I've got, and we're going to paint some pretty things. All right, so I'm going to lay out all of the watercolors that we're going to be talking about today. But like I said, I have stuff all the way from high-end, quite pricey, the Lisilinka, and then I have all the way down to inexpensive Amazon watercolors. So I'm going to be linking these in the description along with all the ones that I can link. As you might be able to tell, I haven't tried these yet, and so I'm excited to give them a try, but let me go over the brands that I have. So we obviously have the Lisilinka, and I do have a video on this brand, so if you want to see those in more depth, I will link the video below. I also have some videos on the IUILE watercolors. I've used these quite a bit. I probably use these the most, aside from another one that I'm going to talk about in a second. But so we have Lisilinka, we have IUILE, we have Amazon brand I don't know the name of. Also got on Amazon, and this is CSY. I have been meaning to do a video on the CSY watercolors. I have quite a lot of things to say about them. I'm going to be talking about the metallics today in this video, but I want you to know that anything I say about the metallics does not transfer over to any of their other watercolors. I found some huge inconsistencies, and these have been the best of their brand. So if I say something positive, just note I'm not talking about all of this brand. Another brand that I've got on Amazon that I absolutely love and adore, and this is the one I've used the most. This color in particular have used quite a bit, but I've used the silver as well. But these were the very first metallics that I got, and it was just a happy accident that I got these on Amazon. They are fantastic quality. So this, I don't know how to pronounce this name, but I decided when somebody asked me to try these out, I was looking at the price of this compared to this brand, and I was like, you know what? I already know an inexpensive brand, so I wanted to get more from them to show you some more options from this brand with these metallic paints. So I have these. Next up, this is an old eyeshadow palette that I put some paints in, but these are from Emily Grace, and I got these on Etsy. So here's an Etsy option for you. They definitely have that clove oil smell from handmade paints. A lot of handmade paints use clove oil as a preservative. I can't talk. As a preservative, and so this is another brand that I have that we're going to test out and play with today. And then the last one I have is not core. This is just the 10 that I have them in. These are 31 Purple Fish, and there are 2 metallic paints in here, so I'm going to be using those today as well. If there is a specific brand that you want to see sooner rather than later, let me know, because I have the CSY to talk about. I have the 31 Purple Fish, and then I also have Boulder, what's it called? Boulder something. They make paints out of, they make their own pigments out of plants, and they're fascinating. So let me know if you want to see a video on one of those brands. But today we're going to be using the Academy watercolor paper pad. This is the 10 by 7. And I think first I just want to swatch and kind of get a feel for some of these. Some of these you've seen on the channel if you've seen my previous videos, and some of them I've used a lot. But I want to dig into some of the ones that I haven't used at all, mainly these. So we're going to start by wetting the metallics. If you have not used metallic watercolors, they don't reactivate quite as easily as most normal watercolor paints. So putting a drop of water on them a few minutes before you use them is definitely a very good idea. So I don't know which ones I want to start with. I've swatched these two brands quite extensively on the channel, so I want to start with something else. Okay, I'm going to start with these just because I'm most curious about these and I have never used them. So that's where we're going to start. I'm going to drop of water on all of these and then we'll get to swatching. Now, if you've never used metallic watercolors, a lot of times they're not meant to be used just on their own. I like to use them on top of an existing watercolor. I'll paint something and then add metallic here and there. But you can use them on their own. That's just not the way that I personally prefer to use them. So when you're looking at these swatches, just know that they will probably look a lot better when they're on top of a base of color. So, okay, let's see here. All right, so we're just going to go down the rows and swatch these just to see what they look like. This color is fascinating. I know that swatching these on black watercolor paper will definitely show them much differently. This color, I imagine, would look really, really good on black watercolor paper. But I can tell that would be really pretty on top of something. So the ones that I've found that I like to use that can be used fairly independently, as in not on top of another color, are like the golds and the silvers. I really like using those. So if the brand has a good gold and silver, I appreciate that because those are typically the colors that I would like to use to add some sparkle. Yeah, that's not bad. So far, these are not performing horribly. It's going to be fun to see them side by side, all the different brands. Yeah, see, I feel like those two colors would look really, really pretty on top of something. They're very sheer, but they have a beautiful iridescence to them. It's like a coppery bronze color. Yeah, so if you're looking for an inexpensive option for metallics, these are not bad. I need to see how they dry, to see how shiny they are when they're dry, but they're reactivating nicely and they are pigmented. Ooh, look at that one. Yeah, I'm curious to see how shiny they are once they're dry. One of my favorite things, this may sound silly, about, ooh, I like that one. That one's got some gold. It's a green gold. Oh. Anyways, one of my favorite things about using sparkly watercolors is your water cup looks so pretty. When you swirl that water, it's just like shiny and it's just mesmerizing. I think I may put a clip in here showing you the pretty sparkly water because I don't know, it makes me happy. I put a lot of water on this one. That's definitely got some pigment to it though. Ooh, I like this purple. Oh, that's really pretty. That's nice green. Ooh, okay. So here's the cheap, I don't remember how much this is. I will have put it on the screen, but the Amazon metallic watercolors. Now I want to go ahead and swatch right after that. I'm going to swatch the other Amazon inexpensive brand that I have been using and love. Just so you can kind of see side by side the same price range. So if you were trying to decide between the two, but it also depends on what colors and what you're going to be using them for. Because I got this gold set for gold accents on a Disney castle or a princess castle that I did, and it was exactly what I needed. And something like this where it's all the different colors, if that's something you're looking for like butterflies or something like that. So it really just depends on what you're going to be using it for. While I'm letting the water set on those, I'm actually going to wet the Emily Grace ones as well. And I think what I'll do is put on the screen a price comparison between all the different watercolors that I have. But keep in mind, there are different amounts of paint in each one, and some of these are handmade, some of them are not. So it's not going to be like direct, perfect comparison of price. It's just how much each of these things are costing. Okay. All right. So I'm going to start with the metallic gold and silver set. I'm going to mark off so I don't get them mixed up. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. I haven't used the more yellowy kind of gold ones. I don't like yellow gold as much as like the more muted tones, but oh, look at that. They perform beautifully. Yeah, I've used these bottom three the most. And once these are all dry, I'm going to like turn the paper, whoops. So you can kind of see the shine from the different angles. Here's the silver. So these are the Colero. I don't know. Yeah, these perform so beautifully. Whoops, I got ink in those. All right, let's test out these. Where's the... See what shades I think, is this sterling silver? It's the same silver. Yeah. So I have a repeat shade here. This silver is the same from this palette and that palette. We have rose. Oh, look at that. Lavender, which I love. Sorry, my voice is also not back to normal yet. Unicorn. This one is beautiful. Blackberry. Got some pigment to that. And silver gray. It's got a very purple tonedness. Okay, so there's all from that brand. Yeah. COLIRO. Both of those. Okay, we're going to move on to the Emily Grace. So these are unique. These are the only ones that I have that have like some with bigger chunks of glitter in them. Some of these are definitely made to be like glitter toppers instead of like an opaque color that you paint with. And you'll find that with metallic paints. Look at that. You'll have some that are more solid and opaque that you can use to paint, you know, flowers or something without a base, and then you'll have other colors that are best to have something underneath them. Let's see here. That blue color is so pretty. But these Emily Grace ones are more glitter than metallic. The shiny particles in them are bigger. Some of them have like I said, have more chunks of glitter in them. Like this one, I don't know. I'm going to call them flakes. You can kind of see, some of them have like even glitter particles that are stars or hearts, or like some of them, like they're definitely a unique brand of paints. They're not something that you would find anywhere else. Like you wouldn't just find this on Amazon. This one's really cool because it's black. Whoops. It's black, and then it's got these multi-chrome flakes in it. You can see you doing some really, really cool things with that. So, needless to say, I think these perform very, very well. And these are the first handmade watercolor metallics that I bought and that I've swatched today. Trying to get a good swatch. See, I'm trying to get some of these flakes that are in here so you could see them on the paper, but okay. All right, so there's the first 3 brands. I want to see if we can get a little bit of that shine. Get some different angles of these two, and they're still wet, so that doesn't help. Let me do this. I want to swatch these 2 real quick from 31 Purple Fish. Let me get them wet, actually. And I'm also going to go ahead and wet the CSY metallics. I think I'm going to swatch the CSYs first, just because of the space I've got on the page left. All right, so look at that. I actually like this set from CSY. Very pigmented metallic paints. This one's a fun one. It's got some minty undertones to it, and so obviously I like that. This one is even more minty. So pretty. And then this one's, I think, called Chocolate Mint or Mint Chocolate or something, and it's an interesting one. So, see if you can see. Oh, do you see this water? This is what I'm talking about right here. Focus on the water cup. Look at that. I like the shiny water. Yeah, okay. Sorry, got distracted there. So I just have these left to swatch, and then I think we're going to paint some things. Those aside, I want to start with the 31 Purple Fish swatches now on this page. It's like a rosy gold. This one is my favorite of these two. It's a very interesting texture that's on there. Anyways, there's the 31 Purple Fish. So I'm definitely going to swatch the Lisilinka ones. The IUILE ones, again, I do have a video on them. There's so many of them that I think I'm just going to swatch a few colors from each finish, because there's some that are duochromes or multi-shifting, some that are just glitter toppers, some that are metallic. So I think I'm going to pick a few from each finish because it's a lot to swatch. So let me get the Lisilinka ones pre-wet. And then I'm going to pick out some of my favorites from these sets to swatch. And again, if you want to see them more in depth, I do have them in other videos. Okay, so we're starting with the Lisilinka ones. And if you have not seen these are ones that I just had to have. I have been lusting over these for so long. They are not cheap. These are definitely the high-end category for me, but they win in packaging, and obviously their ads make them very, very appealing because I'm telling you, they drew me in with their ads. But the packaging on these make them an even more delightful experience. And the quality on them is amazing as well. I don't have a single complaint for these at all. I definitely have some colors that I like better than others and want to reach for, but everybody has color preferences. And again, the gold is another good indicator. If you look at a brand's gold or silver to see kind of if they're any good. And generally, like I said, I like to use these light colors like this one and then the golds and silvers. But this one right here, I've already used quite a bit and I love it so much. So this was a free one that they sent with my order, which is pretty, but not one I would have picked out. I think it's hazel or hazelnut or something. But this one I did pick out. This is mint hollow mint, something like that. And it is a mint color with little holographic glitters all in it. And it makes me very happy. It's so pretty. So pretty. Okay. So there's the high-end Lisilinka. Oops, gorgeousness. Man, they're just so pretty. Just like them on my desk as well. Okay, so let's go move on to the IUILEs. These are the multi-chrome or chrome shifting paints. And these really shine on black paper. But some of them actually hold their own on white paper as well. Some of the greens, just absolutely gorgeous. So again, just looking from above is not going to show these off. I'm going to show you from different angles in a minute. Let's take one of the metallics from the IUILE because that's what I have a lot of are metallics. And these three metallics right here are very nice and opaque. Let's get this silver here. Beautiful. So all in all of the brands that I have, there aren't any that are just absolutely disappointing and impossible to work with. Meaning you can paint with any of these and make something pretty. You don't have to have the most expensive. But I did want to swatch them all side by side so maybe you can see for yourself the different brands. Okay, so there's a few from IUILE. 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 These were Lisilinka. Probably can't read my handwriting anyways. Then we have Coloro. These were the Amazon cheap ones. I don't know what the brand is. These are Emily Grace. And these are the CSY. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull the camera down at this angle down here so you can see the reflectiveness of all of these. So you can kind of see for yourself, kind of judge which ones that you would like, and then we're going to paint something just using some of these just randomly. So, right. So we've got, here's the CSY, Emily Grace, Coloro, and then the Amazon brand up here. Some of those are still wet. I will say though, these look, again, I have never used these and they hadn't seen them dry. They look rather dull compared to the rest. They are not as reflective. The only shine I'm seeing is the wet spots. Let me take a dryer to some of these, and because these are still wet as well, so we can get a true representation. Okay, so everything is finally dry, so I wanted to kind of let you see the shimmer and metallic off of some of these brands. So again, this is the IUILE down here. We have Lisilinka, 31 Purple Fish, and then again, these up here, I can't believe that green one in purple, they're still a little wet, but they definitely don't have as much metallic. The gold one is probably the most metallic one, and it looks pretty nice. But I'm just not really that impressed with the rest of them from that brand. So as of right now, if you are gonna go for an affordable option, I don't know that I would pick this one. I would definitely pick this brand. And again, I'm gonna be putting on the screen. Some of them, like this shade's not as metallic as some of the others, but yeah, I definitely not gonna recommend that top one though. I did want to show you on black paper because everybody is going to be asking. These are the IUILE ones, and I did this, painted this, whoa, I got it wet. I painted this in another video testing out the IUILE watercolors. So this is what it looks like on black paper. And you can tell that they definitely pop more if you are going to paint on black watercolor paper. I just personally don't paint on black watercolor paper that often, so I want to see how they perform on white. So I quickly painted a floral arrangement. Let me put the camera back up here, and then I'm going to paint some glittery goodness on top of it and show you. Before I start painting on top of those flowers, I just wanted to kind of give you my rundown sitting here in person looking at these, what I think. I've mentioned it a little bit, but yeah, this one right here, definitely wouldn't recommend using. Some of them have no shine whatsoever. If you're going for metallics, I would say skip this one. So if you're the one that commented for me to try this, I hope that it saved you some money. If you are wanting around that price range though, this right here, these are definitely the most shiny ones that I have. The other colors in this brand don't have quite the level of shine, but they are shiny. It just depends on the color. Some of the, like this one's not quite as shiny. But in general, this brand, for an inexpensive brand, highly recommend. Handmade, Emily Grace. They are absolutely stunning. Gorgeous, beautiful. Some of them have bigger chunks of glitter, which can be fun. So I really enjoy those. The CSY actually have quite a bit of shine to them, and I would recommend this set only. Again, like I said in the beginning of the video, I don't recommend any other CSY. I'm going to show you those eventually. Let me know if you want to see them. But this specific set, I think, does well. And then the rest of the handmade ones. We have 31 Purple Fish. It's beautiful. It's not quite as metallic as some of the others, but it definitely has some shine there. Lisilinka, absolutely beautiful, magical. The black one doesn't have quite as much to it, and I really don't know how I would use that one. This is definitely my favorite. These two right here, stunning. And the IUILE ones, obviously, I've used them quite a bit, and I think they perform fantastically. So highly recommend those. But let's go ahead and paint some... No, not my mint hollow. All right, so I quickly just painted a little bit of a floral arrangement to show you kind of how I would go about using these in a floral. I really like to use them for other things too, like butterflies and castles and all that kind of stuff. But since I do a lot of florals here on the channel, I figured we would go in with a floral. Okay, and I did some kind of minty colors because I wanted to use Lisilinka's mint hollow mint something. And I also want to try some of these out in a painting as well. And then these, I figured these go really well with this. And I haven't gotten to play with these as much as I've wanted. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and dive in. I think I'm going to start with the Emily Grace. Some of these pinks, these have dried a little bit into some of these colors, and just kind of show you how I would use these to accent a painting. So think of it as putting little highlights, especially some of these pretty light colors. Beautiful. I like this really pale pink. Gorgeous. Okay. All right, I'm going to use this kind of color. They have names on them. It's hard to tell because I've got paint all over it. I'm going to try to link the exact set of Emily Grace paints that I have. But this is how I would use this. I would go in and put it on the center of some of these petals. You can use them as shadows or as highlights, just little detail lines. And then what I like to do also is I go in and put, little accents on all the flowers and petals and leaves and things. But then sometimes I'll also paint a few things with just the metallics as well. So like I'll take, this is fire turquoise. So I'll take this turquoise green color and I'll add a few more leaves with just the metallic itself. So they will be a little bit less opaque, but it adds a little something into your painting. By the way, I just recently got this brush and I love it. I just did a favorite brush video and this wasn't in it because I didn't have this yet, but this is a silver black velvet. Most people know of them and I think it's beautiful. Okay, let's see here. I actually want to try some of the CSYs in this painting as well because I mostly swatched these. I haven't used them a whole lot on top of, but they have so much pigment to them. Let's go a little bit on the rose. Yeah, see, this has some pigment and the shine. It's beautiful. Oh, that is gorgeous. All right, let me take this minty green shade here and I'm just gonna go along some of these leaves and put the veining in. Sorry, my head just hit the microphone. I know it's kind of hard to see the metallic from directly above. You see at that angle, it's really, really pretty. So I'm going to continue. I think I want to do the rest of this in silence. Because again, it's hard to breathe and talk and sit up right now. But I'll put the rest to music and enjoy, and then I'll come back and show you the finished product. All right, so I'm going to pull the camera down once again so you can see this and go over my final thoughts. So this is what it looks like. It just adds some fun to your painting. And as you like walk around and see it from different angles, it's just so pretty. So if you haven't tried out metallic watercolors, I encourage you just get some and have some fun. And again, if you want to splurge, on yourself, the Lisilinka ones don't disappoint. Absolutely love. Even if you just want to pick one color that is something that you would use a lot, I highly recommend these. But aside from that, if you want some cheap ones, this brand right here is definitely where it's at. I thoroughly enjoyed those. Some ones on Etsy, again, the Emily Grace. I had my eye on these for a while. I think this is the Opal series. But they're absolutely stunning. 31 Purple Fish are fine, but they're not quite as fun, and I don't reach for those over some of the other ones that I have. But also the IUILE ones don't disappoint. They're a little bit less, they're still expensive, but they're a little less than the Lisilinka ones. But they are absolutely fantastic. And they have so many different finishes, and they're so much fun. So I hope this video helped you get a glimpse of what's out there, and maybe help you decide what metallic watercolors you want to start with, or if you already have some, what else you may want to try out. Yeah, I think that's going to wrap it up for this video. Again, if there are any brands that you want me to do a deeper dive on, let me know in the comments. But if you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already and you want to see our future videos, hit that subscribe button down below, and I will see you guys next time. Bye. Breathe. Guys, and welcome back to Opal and Mint. Testing out the sound. Sounds good.